Good morning, everybody. How we doing? This fine Friday Eve, August 15th, 2024. We're here for our pre-market prep session. We got Eli Lilly hitting price target number 2 here before open, looking to cash us out. We had DraftKings coming through strong for us on the risky earning swings into yesterday. And then we'll see what today has to offer. Yesterday was a notoriously low volume day. The price action was bubkiss. We managed to stay out of that, avoid all that tomfoolery, right, and really continue to focus on quality looks. We had a few, things that came up that looked interesting that we've got eyes on, and we'll continue to keep those eyes open, stay vigilant, as well as get 1% better, which is what we're here to do. So drop those ones in the chat, signifying your intention to get 1% better. I'm not trying to accidentally get better at trading or accidentally better at technical analysis or accidentally better at, being able to process and kind of decipher market analysis, right? I want to get better with intention. And you saw yourself do exactly that yesterday if you have been listening to, kind of my narrative about CPI, right? CPI, one of the numbers was in line, the other one was slightly better than expected. And what did the market do? Literally nothing, right? It just sat there. So it's always the market's reaction is what dictates, what you want to do. And even though we were shorter term bearish for a little bit until we invalidated that potential bear flag setup, right? And we were, climbing on low volume, and there were a lot of indications there that we would reverse. We had the sudden quick sell-offs, right? And we had to end up selling those shorter term puts at a loss, which isn't fun. But when we were positioned, right, we got positioned 2 weeks ago on the big dip in Apple, long swings, right? In leaks, QQQ, right? Even with the market going up, we're getting paid in the background of that. The short term, no, right? The short swing, not as much, at least on the SPY puts. We day traded SPY puts a few times, and they were, profitable over the course of the past few sessions, last week into this week. But not being able to bring it home on the put swings for what was it this week, right? It's not fun, but at the end of the day, I know, okay, well, at the end of the day, this movement is still paying me in some capacity, right? It might not be in my short term portfolio, but in my long term portfolio where I bought the dip, right, heavily on QQQ, Apple, a number of different tickers, right? Still one that I'm going to kind of talk about again this morning in the trading group because I want to bring it, back to the forefront. I feel like it's kind of fallen to the background, but another, probably my favorite long-term look right now. I'll bring that back up. But yeah, always making sure that no matter what happens, right, you're positioned with the correct expectations, you're positioned to win, and you're getting 1% better, right? So let's dive into what we got this fine morning. Let me pull it up because I don't even have it pulled up here. Top news: a great big phony. Ever get the feeling that 5-star review that 5-star review is not at all real or not all that real? Yeah, for sure. I feel like that's the majority of the people kind of know that, or at least people our age. Like I feel like everybody like around 30. I'm not 30 yet. I mean, I'm encroaching, coming up on 29 soon here next weekend. But I feel like everybody like who is around my age pretty much assumes that like things are kind of like, I don't want to say a scam, but kind of a scam. Like I don't open emails unless I'm looking for that email from someone. Like I really don't. I don't click on any links. I don't, and I'm talking about in terms of like people reaching out to me or me like looking at something. Like when I look at reviews, I know a lot of those are AI generated, right? They sound AI generated. When you look at different reviews of things on Amazon and you see the exact same verbiage, and in some cases like close to the same pictures, it's just like you obviously have bot farms that come in here and do this. So I say that all to say as well, from somebody who my grandma is frequently, calling me, Adam, I had to replace my card. I opened this email and da da da. Right? Don't open stuff that ain't, that doesn't seem official. You'll get the text like, hey, the IRS is reaching out about, or the whatever, some random regulatory agency, like you need to reach out, immediately. If it really is, you'll find me, right? If it really is, you'll find me. But if not, I'm not answering. I'm not clicking your link that you texted me out of nowhere. And that's important to know because regardless of what you try to do, like I remember my dad was like, yeah, I don't want Amazon Alexas in the home because they can be hacked. And maybe they can, but at the end of the day, what I've said here before on this program still stands true. And it happened based off of news that we got yesterday. In this day and age, your data is probably leaked. your important information is probably leaked. Like more than not, it would be like you would honestly have to have like not live on the grid for your data not to be out there somewhere. They just said yesterday that pretty much everybody's social security number got leaked. Everyone, like every American. And I doubt that's the first time mine has been out there on the internet, right? That's just where what we live in. That's just the time we live in. So you pretty much if somebody's reaching out to you, you need to like double, triple, quadruple check. Don't hit any links, and just kind of live life that way because a lot of this is straight bots. But back to these 5-star reviews, do they sound auto-generated or too similar to the rest of them? Well, the Federal Trade Commission is taking notice too, as consumer complaints pile up in the age of generative AI and e-commerce popularity. New rules are set to combat fake reviews and testimonials, while the agency will be allowed to seek civil penalties against knowing offenders. Quote, fake reviews not only waste people's time and money, but also pollute the marketplace and divert business away from honest competitors, FTC Chair Lena Khan declared. Quote, by strengthening the FTC's toolkit to fight deceptive advertising, the final rule will protect Americans from getting cheated, put businesses that unlawfully game the system on notice, and promote markets that are fair, honest, and competitive. Besides bans on false reviews and testimonials, prohibitions will be applied to the censorship of negative reviews or compensating third parties for positive feedback, which is a big one. They're like, setups. I didn't even know this, but you can like go in and get paid for giving reviews, right? I don't know how it works, or you might hit me up like, hey, Adam, while I'm sitting on the toilet, I want to be getting paid for getting some reviews. I don't know how it works. I just know that it does happen, right? Amazon, does it. Especially for people that shop a lot there. They could be like a trusted partner or something like that. So there are, modes and methods where people are paid for reviews as well, which kind of defeats the purpose. Um, let's see here. Buying or selling fake engagement, such as likes, followers, or views on social media, will be outlawed as well. That's funny. There are a lot of businesses built on that. And clarity about business connections or ties will be required if engaging in the review of a product. Yeah, I mean, you guys know I've never been about the doing it for likes, followers, views, whatever. Like you do it for the people that are attracted to you. At the point which you have to, kind of just go out and purchase followers. It's like what the heck is the point? Um, Now, what it means, businesses will have to be more careful about how they manage reviews and may need to implement stricter guidelines or disclosures. That could translate into great responsibility for companies like Amazon, Facebook, who's owned by Meta, Google, TripAdvisor, and Yelp. While false advertising is already illegal, the new ruling allows the FTC to seek up to $51,744 per violation, but it will ultimately be left to enforcement in the courts, which can impose much lower penalties depending on the case or size of a business. So yeah, just come correct, right? Come correct. Don't have bots doing your reviews and don't have bots swarming people's comments like I made $10 million with at this person. Like you know, just come correct. Come correct, and everything will be correct. Financials refinancing surge as borrowing costs continue to decline. U.S. mortgage refinancing witnessed the largest increase since the early days of the pandemic. The refi index surged 34.5% over the course of 1 week, according to data from the Mortgage Bankers Association, and was up an astounding 118% when compared to the same week a year ago. Overall mortgage applications also continued to climb, with the latest cooling consumer price index setting the stage for the Fed to embark on an easing cycle in September. Now, consumer news, robo delivery, Shake Shack, ticker SHAK, Shack is the latest partner with Serve Robotics, ticker SERV, in using autonomous sidewalk robots to deliver Uber Eats orders in Los Angeles. The news sent Serve's shares soaring nearly 10% on Wednesday, and the stock is up another 4% pre-market. The all-electric and AI-powered bots, which looks like boxes on wheels, are equipped with advanced GPS technology and are designed to eliminate noise and congestion in crowded urban areas. Speaking of robotics, Apple is reportedly moving forward with a tabletop prototype that has a display similar to an iPad and a robotic limb. So, we've got the in-person hardcore hardware robotics, that are also really, really taking a leap forward with the emergence and the continued proliferation of AI. And yeah, this is a nice little update. I have seen the robots that they're talking about. Hopefully, they all work out well. I feel like I could easily see people just screwing around with them. I feel like unless they put cameras on them and make it like criminal charges to mess around with the robots, people will probably mess around with the robots, especially if like, I mean, I'm not homeless, but if I was homeless and I saw a robot that I knew probably had food in it, I'm probably picking up that robot and like smashing it against the corner of the nearest building and taking the food and leaving, right? You might end up with a Chipotle bowl rather than a burrito after all that smashing, but I don't know. It just seems like we're really, really like trusting people to make that. And some people thought that Uber in general wouldn't work because they're like, why would I get into a random person's car? Airbnb. If you would have told anyone the concept of Uber and Airbnb 20 years ago, they would have been like, you're actually crazy. There's no way people are going to pay money for that, right? Get into a car of someone I don't know to take a ride. That's literally what your parents told you not to do growing up. And then you going and stay over someone's house that you don't know, right? But times are changing, so maybe serve robotics works out, or maybe you see a bunch of torn up robots on the side of the street. Regulation, bipartisan crypto. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer aims to get something passed out of the Senate and into law by the end of the year. He said during a virtual Crypto for Harris town hall. Ew. Quote, crypto is here to stay no matter what, so Congress must get it right. And this isn't ill toward one or the other. I just say ill toward like all of like politics when it comes to this stuff. Like they're just like, oh, you know what I really love now? The cryptos. It's like, what did you care about them at any time before, other than when your name was on the ballot, or is that just something that you see you need in order to get there? And this is both candidates, and I get it. If I was running for president, I have to do the same thing. Hey, this thing I never cared about, I'm now a huge fan of it. That's what you have to do to be president. That's why, I've never wanted to be president. It's not a fun job, but in order to get there, you have to make so many promises. You have so many hands in your pockets. By the time you get there, your hands are tied. So can you really enjoy it? I wouldn't want the stress of, all the millions of American people and really the free world on my shoulders while owing all these other people. That's like the worst possible position. I've got the weight of the world on this shoulder and then the weight of the wealthiest people in the world on this shoulder. It's tough, hard knock life. While Kamala Harris has informally shared her views on crypto, a move by senior Democrats to support the industry indicates she may pivot away from the Biden administration's harsh stance. Crypto is becoming a major topic in the election, with Republican nominee Donald Trump calling for the U.S. to be the Bitcoin superpower of the world. I do think, regardless of who wins, the U.S. government is going to actively like use the crypto that it has seized, and it seized a crap ton of it. So I don't think that I think that's something regardless. So you would almost be stupid not to. So I don't blame the government for being like, we seized all this and now it's ours, because I do the same thing, right? I do the same thing. And what are you going to do? Sell it? It crash markets, right? If you suddenly sold all that Bitcoin that they have stored up that they've gotten from criminals, it would literally tank markets. Today's markets in Asia: Japan up 0.8%, Hong Kong flat, China up 0.9, India closed. In Europe at midday, London flat, Paris flat, Frankfurt up 0.3. Looks like the Dow up 0.2, S&P up 0.1, NASDAQ up 0.1, crude up 0.7, gold up 0.6%, Bitcoin down 4.3% to $58,435. Initial jobless claims data we got here at 8:30 a.m. this morning. Let's see if that's affected anything or moved anything here. Oh, so we got a little pop action at 8:30 a.m. So whatever the jobless numbers were, market liked it. So yeah, that is changed. S&P no longer up zero point 0.1, probably up like zero point 0.4, 0.5, right? Nice little pop. Um, Retail sales at 8:30 as well. Anything after the market opened, it's important. 10 a.m. business inventories, 10 a.m. housing market index. Those are things that like could be small things that impact us short term, like some short term volatility on that data. What else is happening? Retail radar, Walmart earnings and sales data in the spotlight. 13F check, Buffett's Berkshire adds Alta, sheds Snowflake. Hmm. Interesting. And then Burry's Scion asset sheds Safe Bulkers, ticker SB, and then BP. Nike shares gain as Ackman's Pershing reveals stake. Why is Oh, also, I think that's important about Snowflake, right? Because that was Snowflake's like big hallmark quality when they IPO'd, was like, this is the first thing that Warren Buffett, like the first IPO that Warren Buffett is like actively invested in and behind, and Buffett is no longer. invested in Snow. I don't know if it's he sold all of it or just part of it. But Snow has been, consistently underperforming. I mean, look at its monthly chart. It's pretty foul indeed. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe shed Snowflake. Maybe he's just selling part of what he has in Snowflake and then adding Alta. Um, Ulta, I feel like I did chart this recently. Someone asked me about Ulta. I believe it was Guy. Guy, I think you asked me about Ulta. One of you guys asked me about Ulta. So there you go. That might be, something to add in to our feelings about also the fact that you've got, Ulta at a potentially tantalizing spot here. It depends on how we behave and how we really finish, this month on Ulta, but potentially, a spot here for it right at that 330, 331 level. Um, and again, not everything that Buffett gets in works out, right? If you got into Snowflake with Buffett, you are now getting out where he's getting out in the red, right? He might have been in pre-earnings. So when you're in pre-IPO, right, you get paid regardless, right? You get paid regardless. But I think that is important, right? Buffett is still a person. He's not always right. No one is. I'm not, right? No one at all in this world is always right. So just make sure that you can do your own analysis that supports why you're in something, right? Because you can never see the full picture of what someone else is doing. So Cisco, ticker CSCO, climbs on results, plans to shed 7% of workforce. Every day we are getting updates about layoffs. Every single, it's not like, oh, this day, that day, this day, that day. This is every single day. Every single day, major companies. Learn how to put your money to work for you in markets. Learn how to utilize AI to create value both within the workplace and outside of it. Starbucks welcomes Brian Niccol with a lush package. New CEO of Victoria's Secret, ticker Visco, along with preliminary earnings. J&J, ticker J&J, to declare voting support for talc bankruptcy plan. And then DraftKings backs off tax surcharge. Flutter rallies on strong results. DraftKings paid us yesterday on the overnight swing. WHO, World Health Organization, right, declares monkeypox outbreak in Africa a global health emergency. We had gone a while without any, major virus or health scare. So I'm sure that, they had to go ahead and queue up the monkeypox. So yeah, I don't know. Stay safe out there. Maybe if you were going to Africa, maybe rain check that. Make sure you're not bringing any monkeypox back to me. Monkey bread, I'll take. Monkeypox, not so much, right? But speaking of monkeys, we're swinging our way to more profits here this morning with Eli Lilly hitting price target 2 on the weekly for us overnight. We've got our tech leaps continuing to work for us as we get this, positive data. We've got QQQ, TQQQ continuing to rise. So let's make it a great day, right? I've got Stevie's first vet appointment at 11 a.m. So I will be out of here, I guess, at like 10:30 and then be back around lunchtime if I could guess. But I have been relayed that these are my fatherly duties and that there is no ducking out of these for markets and candlesticks, right? But let's continue to make it a great week. You won't be perfect, right? But the key is Kaizen, making sure you get 1% better daily, right? Unstoppable, not infallible, just unstoppable, never giving up, right? Making sure that everything serves your good by taking inventory of your experiences and making those losses serve as the foundation for bigger and better wins down the road, right? So everybody have a great rest of the day. I'll see you back here tomorrow for our last market prep session of the week. Have a good one.